Very short, Minister. You will be required to rescind in totality the contents of that letter, tender an apology to the House. Then we move on with answering the questions that are before us. Go ahead, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this very august House. Let me, Mr. Speaker, from the outset, make it absolutely succinctly and unambiguously clear that I subject myself to the authority and oversight of this House in totality. That should not be in doubt whatsoever, Honorable Speaker. Let me also make it clear that the correspondence that has been referenced here was authored and conveyed in good faith, and I would apologize unreservedly if in any way that letter has created...
Don't give a conditional apology, Minister. Just cut a long story short. An apology should be unequivocal and clear.
Mr. Speaker.
Cut the long story short. Rescind the contents thereof. Apologize to the House. We do business. There are a lot of bills pending after this.
Mr. Speaker, may I therefore, with a lot of respect, withdraw that correspondence and unreservedly tender an apology to the Honorable House.
Thank you.
May I proceed, sir?
Let the Majority Leader read out the questions, and then you can proceed to answer. And in your questions, members, those chips on the correspondence will lie where they fell. I will not allow any one of you to go back to it. Deal with the questions on how our athletes are being dealt with, how they are being managed, and how the issues came to this House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well guided, and I will proceed to read out the questions as they are listed on the order paper. One is for the ministers to respond to the following issues relating to the role the ministry in facilitating the Kenya team that attended the Special Olympics held in Berlin, Germany in June 2023 on the following issues. One, how and why Kenya's team to the Special Olympic Games jetted out of the country without neither the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Sports and the Arts nor a representative from the ministry flagging them off. B, how and why the Cabinet Secretary did not deem it reasonable to receive and celebrate the team for their monumental performance during their arrival into the country from the Games. And C, what measures is the ministry putting in place to ensure the anomaly of ill-treating athletes doesn't recur again. 2, Honorable Speaker, on management of aquatic sports in the country. A, explain why Kenya Aquatics has historically been unable to comply with the rules and decisions of World Aquatics, including holding of elections even after a stabilization committee was established in June 2022, on the 28th of June 2022 to be precise. B, enumerate efforts that the ministry has put in place to ensure that Kenya Aquatics Stabilization Committee conducts elections and state when the elections will be conducted so that the World Aquatics can lift the suspension of Kenya Aquatics since 2022 from participating in any activities within the World Aquatics. C, give an undertaking that the ministry will facilitate Kenyan swimmers to participate in the World Aquatics event scheduled for February 2024 in Doha, Qatar, and in the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, France. D, lastly, state how the ministry plans to address discrimination, unfairness, and opaqueness in the selection criteria of swimmers participating in various local, regional, continental, and international swimming competitions. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
For better management of the questions, Minister, answer question Roman 1 on the paraplegic Olympics. Then you can come to aquatic later, so that we can take supplementaries on the first question, which you will answer, then we go to the next.
Mr. Speaker, before I go straight to answer this question, allow me to thank this Honorable House for affording myself and the Ministry the opportunity to come here and engage with the House on a number of activities that the Ministry is responsible for. Honorable Speaker, I will seek your indulgence, maybe in the course of this submission, to also share with you a bit of other information that touch on the work of this ministry, which particularly set the environment or the ecosystem within which the two particular questions have been set. Honorable Speaker, just as a matter of providing some background, we as a ministry are very alive to the value of sports in this country.